Hello and welcome back. Many times I'll pick up new toys that I won't put into videos, simply because I don't think the toy is worth an entire video on itself, or I don't have a good enough hook or idea to include it in a video. But in this past month, July 2023, I picked up more toys than I usually do. And since there are so many, I thought I'd put them all in a video together. And we're going to call this Rapid Reviews. I'm not going to show you the packaging or give you any character background like I usually do. These are just going to be a quick and dirty look at these particular toys. Let's start off with Maximilian and Vincent from the Black Hole. These are part of Super 7's Reaction line. So far there are 3 figures in the Black Hole line, these 2 plus Old Bob. I don't pick up many Super 7 figures, as I said in other videos, because of the price. But I wanted to get these 2 because I did have the 2 original Mego toys in my first collection. Vincent has some nice paint applications on him. Very clean. Really puts me in mind of that original Mego figure. He does have a few moving parts. His head can duck down into his body like that. And it can also turn 360. This claw is able to extend from his body if you pull it out. It is very tight though, and once you get it out, it can rotate, but you can hear that squeak. It is very tight, so I'm not going to do that all that often. The balls of his feet can turn. They're separate pieces, but I've tried pulling on them to see if they extend like the original Mego figure did, and it doesn't seem that they do. And I don't want to get anything to try to pull at and wreck the finish on it. So I'm going to assume that they do not extend. He comes with a 2-piece acrylic display stand. The bottom has the Reaction logo on it. The acrylic rod can fit up underneath the figure, and it pegs into the center of the stand. The problem is this hole is not very deep. It's kind of shallow. It should have been a little deeper, or there should have been some acrylic around the outside of it to shore it up a little bit. Because once you peg him into the display stand, he does tend to flop over a little bit. So, something to keep in mind. I may just put a drop of super glue in there to hold that in place. Here is the evil robot Maximilian, done all in red. There is a different color red in his single Cyclops eye to make that stand out a little bit. He does have a little bit of black paint wash over the body to break up the red a bit. The arms can turn in and out, and unlike the original Mego figure where the arms were straight down to the side, these are a little bit bent so you can see the different appendages and the different attachments he has on each arm. The legs can go back and forth. They can also go out, but they kind of crash into the arms because the arms, even though they move side to side, do not go up and down. And the wings on the feet are molded into the leg. They are not on a hinge as the original Mego figure's wings were. He also comes with an acrylic display stand, which can peg into the holes on the bottom of his feet. And that is a lot more secure than the stands for the Vincent figure. I'd say if you're a fan of the Black Hole, that these figures are worth getting, especially the Old Bob figure, which I don't have, since the Old Bob is one of the rarest in the original Mego line. Jazzwares Micro Galaxy Squadron Millennium Falcon. This is the first ship I bought from the Jazzwares Micro Galaxy Squadron line. And the reason I bought this was because it was on clearance. I've been eyeing the ship for a long time, but at the original retail price of almost $45. No! But when I saw that this was on clearance at Walmart for just $18.
I'm gonna say yes.
So overall, there is some really nice detail, both sculpted and in the paint. These Jazzware ships are very attractive. Get the radar dish, and there's also the gun turret, which can also come out, so you can fit a figure inside the gunner seat. On the bottom we have 5 landing gear. The front one works independently, and then we have 2 on either side that work in tandem. And again, some nice detail, sculpted and painted on the bottom of the ship. The cockpit opens, and you do get 4 figures with this set to be seated in the cockpit. And these are just very simple 1-inch tall figures. They bend at the waist, and their arms are movable, just so you can get them in a seated position, and that's all they do. And there's a little bit of detail on each one. And as you can see, it's a strange selection of figures to put together. Han, Chewie, Ben, and Leia. Anyone that's seen Star Wars more than a couple times will remember that Ben and Leia were not in the Falcon together. On the way to the Death Star, it was Ben and Luke, and on the way back from the Death Star, it was Leia and Luke. So I'm not sure why they put Ben and Leia together, but there you go. Just like the Kenner 3 3/4-inch original, the top of the ship does come off to reveal the interior. So you have some nice detail in there, including the game table, Let the Wookiee Win. It also has the ramp there, which does come out. And the top of the secret compartment also comes off. And that's where you can smuggle your passengers or spices or whatever you choose to smuggle. This toy also has electronic sound and light. First we have the laser cannon sound. And we also have the sound of the engines, which also light up. And there's a sensor in here, so as you fly the ship, it makes different sounds. So that's pretty cool. I'm definitely glad I picked this up, and it has inspired me to pick up some more ships from this line. Although, like with the Falcon, I may wait for some of the larger ships to go on sale before I grab them. Snakeface, the latest classic Snake Man to be released in the Motu Origins line. I think the last of the classic Snake Men we're waiting for is going to be Squeeze. And then they've added some new characters, or characters from the old Motu Classics line, to be released in the Origins line. I'm not sure if I'm going to get any of those. I am getting all the Origins versions of the classic figures. So Snakeface comes with his snake staff that most Snake Men have, as well as his snake shield. In the original toy, Snakeface had the ability to shoot snakes out of his face, which makes sense. That's where he gets his name from. There was a little lever on the back that you'd push, and snakes would protrude from his eyes and mouth. But as with many Origins figures, those original gimmicks have been replaced by alternate parts to preserve the interchangeability of the Origins line. So in Snakeface's case, he has an alternate head that simulates that old action feature. So you can see the 2 snakes protruding from his eyes, sides of his head, and his tongue comes out. So that's nasty. And Snakeface does have the appropriate ability to turn people to stone. Which begs the question, why hasn't there ever been a female snake person called Shidusa? Motu Origins Mecha with Ground Ripper, a vehicle formerly known as the Road Ripper, but I believe that trademark has been taken by another toy company for a series of toy cars, so now it's the Ground Ripper. Let's start with the vehicle. The original Road Ripper had a pull cord that would rev up the wheels and you could let it go. Do not have that in this release, but the wheels are really free spinning. So if you give that a good push, that is going to roll on the floor nicely. You also get an alternate head for the vehicle, which is this one here. So you can replace the head on it. And here we have Mecha with his ornate club. And just like the snake face we just saw, Mecha has an alternate part to simulate his original action feature, which was, of course, his mechanical neck that would extend from the body. For Origins, we get this neck piece with the ball joint on it. So you can pop his head off, pop on his extending neck, and then put the head back in place. And there we have the classic looking extending neck Mecha, who is great for looking over high fences. And there is a seatbelt on the vehicle to keep the figure in place. I was not looking to pick up this set right away, but I did find it at Target for a clearance price of $16, 50% off. So at half off, that was a no-brainer. To get a figure in a vehicle for that price, I grabbed it. Motu Masterverse Shadow Weaver is another figure I grabbed from the Target clearance section. She was also half off, so she only cost me 10 bucks. She comes with a pair of alternate hands, as well as her crystal ball staff, and this fire spell effect. She also has a cloth goods cape that fits over her arms and allows her to have arm movement. Since it's cloth goods, it moves with the figure and does not hinder it, which is very nice. She also comes with this figure stand that pegs up underneath her skirt. So there are no legs on this sculpt. Shadow Weaver just kind of floats along doing her evil deeds. Not a lot in the way of paint applications. She's done head to toe in that crimson color with just a little bit of black where her face should be with the yellow eyes and a splash of red on her belt, the symbol of the evil horde. Her wand is painted in silver with translucent green for the globe, and the fire effect is a translucent yellow with a little bit of orange paint trailing off there. So I'd say for the $10 I paid, this is a very nice figure. Napoleon Bona Frog from the Playmates Ninja Turtles, whatever they're calling the reissue line. I don't know if they're calling it retro or just reissues. But this entire line is kind of frustrating to get because Playmates never puts out any indication of what figures are available where. Sometimes you'll see different figures in box sets on Amazon or Big Bad, and sometimes you'll come across them single carded in Walmart or Target. And Target is where I found this one on a single card. Some of these reissue figures have lacked a lot of paint, but looking at this Genghis, I don't see any spots where paint might be missing. His necklace is painted, his wristwatch and his wristband on that arm are painted. All the elements on his very Chuckles-like Hawaiian shirt are painted, as well as his teeth and his eyes, and of course his shorts. So I'm not sure if he's missing any paint apps versus the original. It doesn't look like he is. Also, they seem to have included all the accessories that came with the original. So he's got his beach bandolier belt, his 4 soda can grenades that fit into the belt, boogie board shield, his tongue gun, which is 2 pieces so the tongue can go in and out, and he's got his shades that I don't really put on him because they fall off quite easily. This guy was on my want list for reissues, and I was happy to find him. Last but not least, we have Superfly from the new Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem series, which is based on the upcoming film. A lot of the characters in Mutant Mayhem are redos or reimaginings of original Turtles characters. I was looking at this guy. Obviously, he puts you in mind of Baxter Stockman from the original line. I was reading the bio card on the package. This guy is a crime lord in the new movie, but there's no indication in his bio that he's actually Baxter Stockman. But we could find out in the movie that it is actually him, just a reimagined version of him. I think this is a pretty cool figure. He's got this giant fly claw arm that can rotate, go all around, and the claw part rotates as well. His other arm rotates the same, and he's got an elbow bend. His legs can rotate all around at the hip and also at the knee. I thought this figure would be tough to stand at first because he looks like he wouldn't be well balanced, but he actually is. They've done a good job with the sculpt. So you have a little appendage coming off the ankle on this leg. On the other leg, it's the remnants of a shoe because, of course, with the mutant characters in the Turtles line, there's always the remnants of one shoe. So once you stand him up, he balances quite nicely. One other bit of articulation that's cool is in the head. He can swivel his head straight up. So when you fly him, he can be looking straight ahead as he flies. That's pretty cool. He comes with his gun accessory, but he also comes with a traditional Ninja Turtle sprue of accessories. And looking at these accessories, these do seem to indicate that he is or has a connection to Baxter. He's got the traditional Baxter fly swatter, and he's got a beaker of chemicals and some vials here, along with another gun. So it could turn out that Superfly is actually Baxter. But we'll have to wait till the movie comes out to know for sure. And that's it for my rapid reviews of these new toys. Are you going to pick any of these up? Or is there something here that you weren't going to pick up before that you might pick up on clearance like I did? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.